All right, you guys, so we're in the all-new BMW Z4. This one is the 4-cylinder, but don't be so quick to hate because this might kind of blow your mind. So this is a twin-turbo 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes around 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. And I want to know, is this car worth $40,000? First of all, this has one of the sexiest exterior designs ever, in my opinion. It's very distinguishable from some of the M cars and pretty much all other BMW makes. I really like that about the Z4. The back end is a little bit iffy, but it's all right. This interior is amazing, especially the colors that this specific one has. I mean, look around in here. It's got some nice ambient lighting touches. It's got configurable drive modes. Of course, we're always going to be in Sport Plus. It's got a nice little infotainment system here. Very nice dash, some buttons that are just, it's not like a whole cluster. It's easy to access, and you also have a nice smooth center console down here. This is a pretty cool car. I would describe it as the perfect Sunday cruiser. But well, it's in the hands of Professor Drives here, so it ain't just a cruiser, it's a corner car. And I'm gonna show you guys what I mean in just 1 second. If you get a used one, it's about $40,000, and to get your hands on an exterior design that looks this good, as well as the interior, it's a convertible, so you can have a bunch of fun, on the weekends or just on back roads on the weekday. That works too. It's kind of a deal that's worth looking at. All right, now we're on some corners, and let's see how this thing can handle. It's very, very good. This car weighs around 3,300 pounds. It has 4 piston brakes in the front and 1 piston brakes in the back. And this thing stays so planted. Even when you're going over bumps and you're in a corner, it makes you feel so confident when you're turning. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. So the 0 to 60 on this car is around 5.3 to 5.5 seconds. And no, this is not very fun in a straight line. I got out of the Scat Pack, and when I did a 0 to 60 test in this car, it was very underwhelming. But this is 10 times more fun on roads like these. So really and I think that was a Scat Pack right there. I think it really just depends on what you're looking for, what type of person you are, and what kind of roads you live around. If you're anywhere near back roads, oh my gosh, this thing is a blast to drive out here. It's insane. And it is fast. It is not fast, it's quick. And it is fun to use this speed. It's fun to listen to that exhaust. It's definitely, if you're around, interstate roads, this car is not going to be it. All right, let's do a pull right now. Ready? We'll do a first gear pull. And it's usable speed in the corners too. That's so awesome. A lot of cars, I'm way too scared to, floor it when I'm going into a corner or already on a corner. This one, we just did a first gear pull while going into a corner. That is what the Z4 is built for. And yeah, I love it a lot. I did an M4 pretty recently, and yes, these are very different. This feels a lot better in the corners than the M4. It's nowhere near as fast as the M4. This is a convertible, so it's more of a, 60, 70, 80 degree weather type of car. I don't know. I think this might be more fun than the M4, because a car like that will just get you into a bunch of trouble. I've been telling you guys that cars like these, I'm starting to fall in love with them more because it's usable power on roads. The Scat Pack I mean, yeah, it's relatively usable if you're on like a 55, 60, 70 mile per hour road. And again, of course, we're talking about roads in Mexico, obviously. You know, the Porsche Cayman was similar to this car in that sense. And yeah, this would be a good comparison to the Porsche Cayman. This is faster than the Porsche Cayman. It's definitely worse in the corners, but still exceptional. If you watch my tier review on this car, yeah, I'm giving this an A in the corners without a doubt. It's just not quite on the level as the Porsche Cayman. And you even get a horsepower and torque gauge right here. I always tell you guys, that's my favorite. Any car that shows you how much horsepower you're getting at any given time, it's a big distraction for me because I just want to stare at that rather than the road. But yeah, I can't afford to crash any of these cars. If I do, that's how, if my channel ever disappears, that might be one of the reasons for why I disappeared. This is a good one right here. The Porsche Cayman handled this unbelievably well. And so does this car. Wow. This thing is super, super fun to drive. Again, an M40i would be very interesting to compare. But I feel like on the specific type of roads we're on right now, would this be more fun than the M40i? I actually think so. Just because, again, with cars that exceed like a little far past 300 horsepower, it's too scary flooring it on corners. But this one, you can actually maximize the potential that this car has to offer on these types of roads. And it's fun pushing a car to its limits, or I like to stay about 10% below the limits. Just because, I don't know, it gives you everything the car has to offer. But some of them, you just can't do that. In a Scat Pack, you can on straight lines. That does not get old. All this aggressive driving, I got my phone down there, my subscribe pillow down there, probably some pencils. Everything that was in its original place is no longer where it was. All right, coming up to a stop sign. Let's do a hard launch here. This car doesn't really launch per se, but let's see how it does. Yep, fun. It's fun. I feel like if you're gonna spend $40,000 on this type of car, it's gonna be more for the exterior design, the convertible aspect, and the interior design. You're not buying this for speed. You're buying it for cornering and the looks. And that's okay. Everyone has their taste in a different kind of position or category for what makes a car seem appealing to them. Man, I would have to do like an analysis for myself on what's the best for 40K. The best for me is going to be different from the best for you. But again, good car for 40 grand. My favorite about the sound are those pops. Just listen. Wait, we got to get to around 5,500. Oh yeah, that does not get old. I think I've told you guys this a billion times, but I have a Mustang EcoBoost, and I mean, it's embarrassing to rev that car. The sound of it is just non-existent. It may as well just be an electric vehicle. You can put an exhaust on that car, but this one has done it just right. They've made this car sound pretty good. Again, it's a 4-cylinder, but I like the way this thing sounds. A lot of people are just like straight line, go fast. And, you know, if I may say, that's the one thing that's wrong with the car community online, is if you look in the comments of a lot of shorts that people make, everyone says on a GT500 video, oh, I would love to have a GT350. Then all of the replies are, oh, a GT500 would dust that in a straight line. Okay, so what? That's not the point of a GT350. It's about the experience. It's not about who has the fastest car in a straight line. I hope some of you guys can relate to that, because just when I read through some of the comments on other people's videos, I'm like, dude, why does everyone just only want to go in a straight line? What about the interior? What about how the car looks? What about how it feels? What about the manual experience? What if it's automatic? It's, again, every car has its own personality, and you have to respect them. Otherwise, you're just going to lock yourself into a box, and that's no fun. And not a lot of people talk about the Z4s. It's not a common car, especially the 4-cylinder one. Not common that I see those on other people's car channels, and so I feel like this deserves some justice. And plus, it's the actual Toyota Supra, right? I'm sure you know that the Toyota Supras, the Mark Vs, are literally Z4s, but with a bit different body style. So this is the original thing. I guess you could just describe the Supra as the hardtop version of a Z4. And I still do want to get a Supra, because those have really cool looks, and I do want to see, does it drive any differently from this at all? That'd be an interesting comparison. There is a 2.0 Supra that I do see that I could reach out to somebody and maybe get my hands on one. I could try that out if you guys want me to. I do expect it to feel very similar to this, and I like this. I would not like this on straight roads. I would not like this on the interstate. But that sign, those yellow turn signs are basically like winning, the feeling of winning the lottery when you see those in this car. And here's why. So that'll wrap this up, guys. Let me know what you think about this. The Z4 4-cylinder deserves more attention, I think, especially if you're more of a back road, just have fun type of person. Putting the top down in this thing is an awesome experience. And if you've owned this car or are looking at owning this car, let me know some more down in the comments below. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll leave you off with one last poll. Ready? Go.